Hey folks, this is Myron from the Tap That Wrestling Podcast. Today we have the 4 interviews I did with the stars of Southern Fried Championship Wrestling to promote their big event on June 1st. They're going to be in one episode here for your listening pleasure. We have Lulu, head of security. We have Drew Blood, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. We have Booker and Mentor of the Year, Todd Sexton. And we're going to finish up with Manager of the Year, Dr. Joseph Brock. Please enjoy these interviews and come out and see the show on June 1st. Thanks. Hey folks, it's Myron from the Tap That Wrestling Podcast. Got Lulu from Southern Fried. He's off in the forest on a camping trip, but he's gonna tell me about what's gonna happen at Shindig. That's a good poster. That's a loaded card.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, it's the slobber knocker. I'm telling you, it's gonna be off the chain.
Oh yeah, and look at it. We get women's wrestling returning to Southern Fried. That is awesome.
Yes, sir. I told you Lulu had surprises and David Manners, didn't I?
Yeah, y'all got all kind of surprises. I'm set to talk to Todd and Drew and Dr. Brock to get some more information about their things, but there's a lot of personal issues and a lot of mean people on this card.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. Corey Hollis, you think he's going to finally get his due?
Well, I hope he does.
Ooh.
I hope he does. I thought he broke old Jacob's neck last week. At the last show there. I was scared. I was scared bad, boy.
Mm-hmm. Well, all
the boys, I told the boys, I said, we got to get Jacob, and we jumped in there, and next thing I know, I'm going out the ring, and I'm like, boy, that brought back memories. But yeah, we finally got Jacob out, and I don't know, he's tough, 4 coats of paint, but I'm telling you, he's gonna have his hand full. Oh
God, that Corey Hollis is a sneaky one.
Oh yeah.
If he'll stop talking long enough to wrestle, he's a good wrestler.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, old Corey Hollis, he's lower than Snake Belly.
Yep. Got a tag team title match. I saw the Master Machine the other day, and it doesn't matter where you see him at, the fans just love him. Oh yeah. When you see him, you think these hands start flying up every time. Yep. I'm like, Lord, look at this. It's something else. Remind me of the Rock and Roll Express. Yes, sir. The younger days. Mm-hmm. And they got a tough one with that Tetsu Mikuji and Brian Kane. That's sir. You have to fight. Yes, sir. All night's going to be just plumb interesting. Oh, yeah. And you got Billy Buck, Strychnine, and Michael Judas in a 3-way match. Michael Judas. I'm telling you. Yeah. You put Michael Judas by himself, just a bad man, but you put Michael Judas and Corey Hollis in the same room, and something's going to happen. I'm just saying, something's going to happen. Yeah. You got a dog collar match. Apparently going to have some people handcuffed. Yes, sir. Oh. Drew Blood and Xander Ramon. Is it still the loser leaves Southern Fried? I believe you're right on that. I believe you are. Lord. I tell you what now, Razor, I'm telling you, that's going to be something else. I'm telling you. And then Dr. Brock and David Manders are both going to be around. Hopefully David can keep Dr. Brock from... I hope Dr. Brock gets hit in the head with a shoe. I might have an extra shoe that night. They said I was going to be on the sideline, but I think I'm going to have to dress out and help the boys out. Yeah. That might be the best thing for him. I'm worried about old Todd, though. I mean, they took his best friend, they took his wife, and now they're trying to take his job. It's a good thing you don't have a dog. They probably get it, too. Probably. Well, they probably already done and did that, and they ain't saying nothing about it, Mm-hmm. But I think old Todd, he got something up his sleeve. I really do. I hope so. He wrestled last weekend, and he looked the best I've seen him since I've been following wrestling the last couple of years here in Georgia. Yes, sir. He looked real good. He took on a bigger, stronger guy. He did real well against him. He's so sneaky. He's got those moves. Yes, he reversed almost everything the Hawks guy put on him. So that's a good thing, man. He's a tough one. He's a tough one. Then we got a 4-way. Yes, sir. Got a 4-way. Damon Bennett, Will Caution, AC Mack, and Alan Angels. That's the pretty much a who's who among young, upcoming, talented wrestlers in the state of Georgia right now.
Yeah, that's your future superstars all in one ring right there.
Yeah, there'll be some WWE talent in there. Some of them already been up to NXT before.
Oh, yeah. I see Mr. Huss last weekend. He ain't changed none.
No, don't change a bit.
He still tells me the same thing. Hush, Lulu. I mean, you can't have nothing. I just can't have nothing.
Mm-mm. And then you get GB1C versus the Uprising. I guess that fella is no longer hurt. He's going to be back wrestling. David Ali and the other fella back. It's going to be a crazy night. I've not seen that big a card. And then at 6:00, we get a Hall of Fame.
Yes, that's what I've been hearing.
And you are going to be there, and you're going in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations again.
Well, thank you, sir.
Hall of Fame for Lulu. That's at 6:00. There's some other notable people going in too. Chris Nelms is going in. Who else? I can't remember the other fellow.
Pantor.
Okay. Good.
Yes, he's going in there.
Uh-huh. And
it's gonna be plumb interesting. I'm telling you, I come up with about 20,000 different speeches, but I think I just throw the cards in there and just speak from the heart.
Yeah, I think that's best. I think it's going to be entertaining. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. The door's going to open at 5, 405 Community Court.
Well, I'll tell you something. You'll be the first one to be interested in what I had to say.
It's always a pleasure.
Like I said, I always get that hush, Lulu.
Yeah. Well, that's
Mr.
Mac. He does that. He likes
you'll have that.
Mm-hmm. Well, enjoy the rest of your camping trip. I'll see you in a week, June 1st. You got anything that people need to know between now and then, Lulu?
Well, they always got to remember, Lulu loves you.
I'll see you next week, Lulu. You have a good one now.
You too now.
Thank you, sir. Hey, folks, it's Myron from the Top Shot Wrestling Podcast. Sitting here tonight, been worried. My favorite wrestler, the smartest man in professional wrestling, Drew Blood, is in a loser leaves town dog collar match. How did you get booked into that, Drew?
That was my deal.
I saw that you challenged for that.
Yeah. Listen, I've been doing this a long time, Myron. I've been doing this a long time. And every once in a while, you get in a situation where you and someone else cannot be at the same place at the same time. And so when that happens, someone's got to go. But one thing you can know, Myron, is that I have never left without it being my choice. I've got this thing down to a science. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what buttons to push. I know exactly how to get what I want. So it's not that you're going to be losing your favorite wrestler. All right. Xander Ramon, he can go find employment elsewhere.
With Loganville. I don't know. He's from Loganville. I don't know how much.
I mean, he's got other promotions. This is a loser leaves town. But here's something that is serious. I mean, be dead serious. I don't know how much the fans know or follow guys and they go different places. I mean, if Xander Ramon loses, he can go right down to Athens. I mean, he just has to leave Southern Fried.
Yeah.
Right? He can go up to Cornelia, which he already goes to. He could do these other wrestling shows, right? But I don't go anywhere. And that's not because I'm not wanted. I have turned down every major promoter. I turned down Matt Griffin the other day for Action. He sent me a message. But I am loyal and am determined to build Southern Fried. So should I lose, I'm done. You won't see Drew Blood at Anarchy. You're not going to see Drew Blood at Southern Honor. I'm not going anywhere else. So I've got a whole lot more at stake than Xander Ramon. Xander Ramon's just going to pick up and go down the road. But Drew Blood is going to pack it up for good. So if I lose, look at this beautiful home. Look at my beautiful home, Myron.
Oh, those cabinets are amazing, Drew.
Right? Oh, my beautiful home. There's my, go out. You can't really see my porch, but I've got my screened up back porch. You know how much Southern Fried participates in paying for all this? A tremendous amount.
Yeah.
So what am I going to lose? I got 4 kids, right, that I have to support. I got a lovely wife. I'm not going to lose all this over Xander Ramon. And Xander Ramon doesn't have any of this stuff. I mean, he's just some college punk. He doesn't care if he loses. So I think that when it comes down and it gets serious, that Xander Ramon is going to be the first, just like a dog, he's going to roll over and show his belly and be submissive.
Now, this is a dog collar match.
It is, yeah.
Tell the fans how that works.
Got a dog collar around my neck and a long piece of chain connected to a dog collar around Xander's neck. So nobody's running away.
Yeah.
You can use that thing as a weapon. It's essentially a no disqualification match. We'll be beating the piss out of each other with a chain until one guy rolls over and dies.
And then Dr. Brock will be watching Mr. Manders.
Dr. Brock will be handcuffed to David Manders. David Manders,
to keep him from interfering.
Yeah, I think David Manders has another ulterior motive. Think about it, Myron. Who is, in all honesty, the biggest box office attraction at Southern Pride?
Well, it's the best heel in all of professional wrestling.
It's True Blood.
Yeah.
Is David Manders, despite whatever shenanigans I might pull, is David Manders interested in losing his golden goose?
So Xander can sell T-shirts but not tickets. Is that it?
There you go. T-shirts but not tickets. And that's all that Manders cares about because he's not getting a kickback from Xander's T-shirts. Right? So David Manders now, I don't know this, but I've been doing this a long time. And he's inserted himself into one match at Shindig. Out of the whole thing, David Manders has decided he wants to be involved in one match. And that's the match where he's going to lose, potentially, his golden goose. And I don't think he's interested in that happening. So if I was Xander, I'm sure feels a level of comfort with Manders being out there and having Brock handcuffed to him. But I'm saying this, young man, you best watch out because unless you're drawing the kind of money that I'm drawing, David Manders is not interested in losing me. So I told Brock is stressing a little bit about being handcuffed to him, but I told him, don't worry about it. Like, think about what does David Manders have to lose if I lose? A tremendous amount. What does he have to lose if Xander loses? Not much. So.
Well, it's a feeder for young talent coming into Southern Pride. They could replace him.
Yeah. You've got a match earlier in the card. It's got four guys that can step right into Xander Ramon's place. You got Alan Angels, AC Mack, Will Caution, Damian Bennett. Any one of those guys could fill Xander Ramon's shoes and feel, better. So, I don't think David Manders is, I don't think his motives are completely pure.
Whew. Well, that Xander fellow is walking into a bit of a box canyon here.
There's no substitute for experience, Myron, and I've been doing this a long time. And Xander's full of passion and rage, but you can't build a life or a career on that. So,
man, I just worry. There's so much on the line on this card. So many ramifications for the future of wrestling in Georgia. Todd possibly losing his best friend.
I'll say this.
Job.
Todd is not Todd, but the approved are making the same mistake that Xander's making. I have no issues with the approved. We generally don't cross each other's paths. Generally, if they're going after the singles titles, we're going after the tag titles. If they're going after the tag titles, we go after the singles titles. And that's sort of an unspoken agreement that we have. But I have made the mistake of getting personal with Todd Sexton. Had I not made that mistake, I would have prevailed because I had physically dominated Todd.
Yes.
The problem is when I got involved with Kelly. And what I did with Kelly is far less humiliating and far less long-lasting than what the approved done with Todd. So, do I dislike Todd Sexton? Immensely. Do I think that the approved have stepped in a pile of crap that they're not going to be able to get out of? Yes. So, good luck to those guys. But yeah, you're right. There's ramifications all over. Todd, if he loses, he's no longer the matchmaker of Southern Pride. Is that correct? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, and that is
what a match.
That Todd has, for all of his faults, built this promotion alongside.
He's an award-winning matchmaker.
Yeah. So, that could be the death of Southern Pride right there. So you got two matches potentially that could end Southern Pride wrestling. You have Todd, if he loses, the backstage and the organization will collapse. If I lose, who's going to come?
Well, if both of y'all were to lose, that would just absolutely, I would think.
It would gut it. It would gut the promotion.
They'll be just like Mooney setting out chairs in an empty building.
Yeah, it will be. So, yeah, that's it's a pretty serious thing right there.
How do you prepare for a dog collar match? What do you
I've
do?
actually got a video coming out in a few days, and I'll show you exactly how I prepare for a dog collar match.
That's quite a thing to look forward to.
So
we're talking about old school type stuff. We're not talking about this WWE product. We're talking about the kind of matches they used to have in Mid-South here.
Talk about blood and guts, and that's something that poor old Xander Ramon's just not used to. Xander Ramon has spent a lot of his time in tag team matches. He's spent a lot of his time with some, guys basically that just don't have any grit.
Yeah.
And people say they want to say, oh, Drew Blood, he likes to scream and holler. Okay. Well, Drew Blood's about to show you. Here's the thing. I brought this up about Todd and family. See, Xander Ramon brings his family to every show. Yes. They have a whole section over there with 4 billion of them over there cheering. Yeah. Right? And what have they seen? They've seen him get handcuffed to a cage and beat to a bloody pulp.
Oh,
They've seen him get his face burned off. They've seen me rub dog shit in his face. Oh. So his family has seen him utterly humiliated. If one more humiliation is not going to do anything to him, right? I don't bring my family.
Coming back to see that.
They keep coming back, but I don't bring my family, right? I don't bring my children, but guess what I am bringing at Shindig?
What's you bringing?
I'm bringing my children. And do you think that I'm going to get beat in front of my son? Do you think that I'm going to let my 7-year-old son sit there and watch his daddy get beat? You got another thing coming. Everybody's seen Xander get beat. It's nothing new. They've accepted it. He's accepted it. He can quit and everybody's still going to love him. My 7-year-old son is not going to watch his daddy get beat.
He's never seen Russell before.
No, because I don't put that on him. Right? But you can guarantee this is any father. Xander Ramon is not a father. He is not a daddy. And Xander Ramon knows nothing about fighting in front of his children. So I guarantee you, Xander, if I'm looking over and my son looks stressed and he looks like he's not having a good time, you best believe something bad is going to happen to you, son.
I don't even know how to deal with that. I have 2 children and I can only imagine, What
would you do if you were getting beat down in the street in front of your kids?
I would claw and bite and stab and cheat and steal.
They're going to have to kill you. They're going to have to kill you.
Yeah.
And so I don't think Xander is going to be able to do that to me. I don't think he's got the guts to pull that trigger, but I will. So.
Oh God. There's so much drama on this one card and we get to this and it's like, these are careers involved.
It's my career involved, Myron.
No, you say Xander can go work elsewhere, but will he ever be able to rub the stink off of this?
He's a young guy. Listen, if I was Xander Ramon, and I've been Xander Ramon, I mean, I was a hell of a lot smarter, and better looking and more athletic, but I've been with as much experience in a similar position.
Yeah.
And I know what he's thinking. He's thinking, I can go to Anarchy. It's like, he's a young guy, and it won't take long before everybody sort of forgets that he got ran out. Like, he can make excuses about it. I mean, a year from now, no one's going to remember how did he get beat. He can start saying all kinds of things, right? And just start stirring the pot. And it'll just be a little while before he can kind of cloud and murky the waters. I mean, hell, he might even be able to come back somehow or other. Who knows? But what's not going to happen is I'm not going to be able to come back, right? Because Southern Fried is my home. I don't go anywhere else. I'm not going to be able to go around and spread lies and deceit about how I got beat. If I get beat, my bags are packed in the back. I'm heading to the house. And it's done.
And there's no retirement for wrestlers.
There is no retirement
plan. There's no.
Luckily, I have 2 graduate degrees, so I should, but I'm not worried about it.
Well, I'm glad of that. I don't ever want to see you go hungry or your children go hungry, but as a fan, it's worrisome. It builds that drama that people just want to come out and see, or they want to watch this kind of thing because there's no better source of entertainment than one other person's personal situations.
I mean, it is sort of Roman gladiator-esque in that sense. Yeah, I mean, our suffering is but we know what we're doing. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and whine about that. Certainly, I know that people paying to watch my personal drama unfold is what pays me.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. I know the deal.
Mm. Mm. Well, folks, I really appreciate y'all tuning in. I really appreciate having Drew on. I hope this is not the last interview I get to do with this man. This man has meant so much to not only me, but our podcast and everything he's done for us. He's added such a great credence to everything we've done. He's been a source of inspiration.
Oh, thanks, Myron.
You've done so much for me and in my career in the wrestling broadcasting journalism business. I got like two heroes, you and Larry Goodman, and
Larry Goodman's always a good hero to have.
Well, yeah, he's
I think he's everybody's hero.
Yes. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you, Myra. Don't be so down. It'll be fine.
No, I know it'll be fine, but there's a soul part of
talking about Ultimate Battleground. Isn't that the next show?
Ultimate Battleground. That sounds like a great show.
That'll be right after you. I'll be wrestling with that one, so don't worry.
I know you don't need to practice or train or anything because you're in phenomenal physical shape. I've seen your workout videos. But try to get some rest. Drink lots of fluids.
Well, thank you. I'll do that.
Well, have a good night, man.
All right, Myron.
Joining me.
All right. Love you, man.
Love you too. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, folks, it's Myron from the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. I normally just walk into these things, but today I'm joined by Todd Sexton. How you doing, Todd?
I'm all right. How you doing, Myron?
I'm okay, but I'm worried. You're in a situation that has put a lot of thought on me, and I'm worried about you, Todd. You've gone into a situation where you've lost your best friend, you've lost your wife, and now your job is on the line. How are you handling yourself, man? Are you okay? Do you need somebody to talk to?
Yeah, probably if I had somebody to talk to a couple months ago, it may have helped. But right now, I'm in the position I'm in, and I have to deal with it. I still have my duties as matchmaker, and we're headed into the biggest show of the year. So I got everybody else's on the roster to deal with, as well as focusing on match is probably, underselling it, but the fight I'm going to have in order to get my wife freed, Kelly. So, and then yes, my job is at stake as matchmaker, a job I take great pride in, and I was probably manipulated in that situation by the approved. Yeah. But at this point, I don't care. I mean, that's simple as that.
It's a job you've won awards for. You're so good at it. But there's been criticism lately that you've kind of taken your eyes off the prize and the rest of the booking. Other guys have gotten things out of control. Corey Hollis apparently let his contract expire.
Yeah, that's on me. I mean, I'll admit it. Sitting around feeling sorry for myself, not going to the shows, not taking care of a lot of details. That leaves a lot of stuff on David's plate. And that slipped through the cracks. His contract expired while he is heavyweight champion. His last contract of performance to defend the titles at Shindig. And we made a contract offer to him at the contract signing. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
I was trying to redeem things and try to get things, make up for lost time. And Corey, being the D-bag that he is, wanted nothing to do with it just because he likes the fact that he can say he crumbled a promotion by leaving with the title. That's the only reason, just because he likes something like that where he can go and just toss the title in the garbage like it's nothing to him and leave the rest of us to try to pick up the pieces. But, Jacob Ashworth is determined, and, it's always bad to bet against Jacob Ashworth, I've learned.
Jacob's a hell of a wrestler, and he's probably the most over person at Southern Fried. I mean, these fans absolutely love the guy. This is going to be an intriguing match. And he's protecting the whole brand. He's fighting for Southern Fried.
He's legitimately, he and Corey have been at each other's throats in a very personal issue for over a year. Mm-hmm. They had a bloody street fight last year at Shindig. Mm-hmm. So here we are full circle a year later. they're not only wrestling each other again at Shindig, but they're in the main event for the heavyweight title, and not just for the heavyweight title, but for the sake of the company. Because Corey says he's going to throw that title in the garbage on somebody's desk after Shindig, whereas Jacob is fighting for everything we've tried to build at Southern Fried.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it really is a very high-stakes match in a lot of ways in that main event.
Well, Corey is a hated person all over the state of Georgia. At every promotion I go to and I see him, he is absolutely just despised.
You should see how the guys feel about him in the locker room.
Oh, God, I can only imagine.
If he didn't have Michael Judas around, he probably wouldn't make it to the ring. From the ring.
Michael Judas is going to have his hands full. It's going to be a tough one. He's going to need Judas. But Judas he's in a three-way with two hell of a wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, it's Strychnine, in my opinion, the most underrated guy in Georgia. Mm-hmm. He kind of slipped through the cracks, but he brings it. And Billy Buck, one of the most polished wrestlers in all of Georgia, in South Carolina for that matter. And, he and Judas have gone tooth and nail for as long as the day is long, So there's a lot of history there. So that could be a possible show stealer right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, have you heard from Kelly, Todd? Has she been gone this whole time? I mean, does she send a message occasionally?
Yeah, we're able to just message each other through various forms of social media and stuff. She'll, sneaks out. I had a match at the Landmark Arena the other week, and I saw her in the crowd. And then unfortunately she got out of there as soon as the match was over, so we didn't get a chance to really. But she knows I love her. I know she loves me, and she knows I'll do anything at Shindig. That's why it's anything goes. And
a freedom fight. That's a new term for me.
Well, fighting for freedom for my wife.
Mm-hmm. And anything goes.
Anything goes. And it worked. There's Adrian and Kenji are always a presence. And then you got the issue is Adrian has said that nobody will help me because why would anybody want to cross Adrian when he's getting ready to take over my job? Yeah, yeah. I think some of the guys, though, you might be surprised because some of the guys in the back are pretty confident in my chances. And I have a few friends back there that I've known through the years and stuff, not just in my role as matchmaker that I've gone through the mud and the blood with. Mm-hmm. So I might, if so needed, I might, have something to pull out.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Because this goes beyond wrestling. This is a story that touches, every nerve in a person. It
affects families, man. It's my family we're talking about here. It goes beyond a championship. It goes beyond a grudge. It goes beyond, I'm going to beat you up. I hate you. This is my wife. This is my family. My wife of 10 years.
Yeah.
We celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary the week before I had that match with Adrian where Bobby cost me the match.
Wow.
Man, it just so happened, that's when our 10-year anniversary was. She's been with me for 10 years in this business too. You've seen her. You've seen her back there, before this happened. She's like a dead mother to the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And she helps get the show done and stuff.
Kelly, and I think a lot of the fans and a lot of the guys, because I get to the shows earlier and, we were used to seeing Kelly there, handling things, talking to people, greeting the fans, greeting the reporters. And, making sure everybody had everything they needed. And now she's gone and it's been a vacuum.
Yeah, it is. If you think it's a vacuum for that, how do you think I feel?
Oh God. Yeah. I'm eating beanie weenie and ordering pizza all the time.
Yeah. Ordered pizza. It's just, me, my son and my cat,
Yeah.
So
now I saw you at the match at Landmark and you looked in phenomenal shape.
Well, thank you.
You look in phenomenal shape. You've been prepared for this.
I've been training my ass off, I'll be honest.
Well, your amount of counters in that match were what impressed me.
Mm-hmm. Ironically, you say that, but that is not my philosophy going into this. my bread and butter, staying in my lane would be technical wrestling. That's not really on the table here. The thing I gotta worry about is it's a fight. You know, I mean, I can just go out there and I can't just focus on hurting Bobby. He was my best friend, and if you look on Facebook, it's come up in memories. 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we won the tag team titles of Anarchy. Right now, at this point, exactly 5 years ago, we won the tag team titles together.
Wow.
Those pictures come up on the Facebook, and I'm not big on social media, but I'll check it out occasionally, and I saw it, and it just, like, blew me away. And here we are now, 5 years later, and want to beat the hell out of him, but I got to win the match.
Yeah.
You know, there's some satisfaction to just, you know, beating somebody physically and hurting them, but I have to win the match to free Kelly, and also to make sure Adrian Hawkins, of all people, does not become the matchmaker and turn that company upside down even more than it has with Corey Hollis's run as champion.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that gets me about Hawkins is I just don't think he can do that good a job. I mean, you're an award-winning booker, a mentor, award-winning mentor at the promotion of the year, and I don't know what Hawkins can do.
It's not really Hawkins can do, it's Hawkins won't do. Adrian is going to look out for 3 people.
Yeah.
You know, and anybody else who kisses his ass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple as that. He's not looking to do what's best for Southern Fried. He's going to do what's best for the approved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's going to, you know, elevate and give people the opportunities. You know, I mean, how many title shots do you think Adrian Hawkins will have at the heavyweight title? If we even have a heavyweight title after Shindig, if he's a matchmaker.
Yeah.
You know, he'll make sure his bread's buttered.
Yeah. That is a tough one. You know, David, I know David has been worried about this. I've talked to David. We occasionally, you know, David doesn't sleep like I don't sleep very much myself. And late at night, I'll get a message from David and we'll talk for a little while. And he's worried. Now, he believes in you. That's not the thing. He just worries the fact that they've got so many people at ringside. And it's just going to be so tough. You're facing an incredible mountain to climb. 3 guys. 3 really good wrestlers.
Yeah. I mean, they're, you know, it is, you know, if I was thinking clearly, maybe I would have tried to make it a 6-man or announce people in my corner. But, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, as much as Adrian is the mastermind and the manipulator of the whole situation, it comes down to me and Bobby. Mm-hmm. That's where this whole thing started at Ultimate Battleground, where I tried to talk him out of being the approved, and this is where we are now, nearly a year later. It comes down, it's me and Bobby. It's always been about me and Bobby.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's going to come down to. And, you know, I know David's worried. You know, I mean, we got the titles at stake in so many ways, the job as matchmaker, and hell, we got a loser-leaves match where we're going to lose either Drew Blood or Xander Ramon in a dog collar match, where guys are throwing out their own stipulations because I wasn't there to rein everybody in.
Yeah, that's a tough one because those 2 guys are, you know, they're integral to everything Southern Fried has done.
And I've had my differences with Drew Blood. I mean, he brought me out of retirement before, and, you know, he put his hands on my wife and stuff, but I do know that he is integral to our show. Xander Ramon's got a whole future ahead of him. Yeah. You know, and for us to lose a talent like that, it's a kick in the nuts. So, you know, it's those guys, but those guys have gotten to that point where that's what they got to do.
Well, it's been building for so long. You know, those 2 have been at each other's throats every show I've seen. They come at each other. Something happens. It may not even be fighting each other, but something goes on where the 2 of them get into it or they have words. It's a lot, you know.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I've seen the shows even when I wasn't there, and Drew Blood is one of the most paranoid individuals I've ever met in my life. And he sees Xander Ramon, this hot stud, coming up as a threat. Yeah. And Drew, you know, tries to take it out. You know, he wants to be the face of Southern Fried. And in some ways he is. He's one of the faces of Southern Fried. He's been there for as long as he has, and he's a unique talent, you know. But, you know, for him to do what he does and gets, you know, and now they've, you know, and he set the stipulation up. Xander agreed to it. And now somebody's going to have to leave. No question. It's you know, it's going to be over and done with. You know, somebody's going to have to leave Southern Fried, and you know, that's a big loss to the company, to be honest.
Yeah, you're going to lose one of your best heels or one of your best baby faces, and that's going to be, you know, it's just where do you go? What have you got?
Yeah,
you know, those two have. Xander is so popular. I mean, so many people wear his shirts at the matches. You know, they just love him. And Drew has a following of people. You know, that's that whole Kevin Owens, the heel is cool type mentality.
Oh yeah, he's got his audience there, you know, which he will be the first to point out to you.
Yeah.
But he's got his whole audience there, you know. I mean, like I said, it's you know, as much as you don't like people, and in my job that's the case. You can have people you don't like that you work with, that you when you're running a company and stuff. But you also got to know who's important to the company, you know, who talent is valuable, who, you know, puts asses in seats. Drew Blood's one of those people. Mm-hmm. And as much as I don't like him, but, you know, hey, I beat his ass. I'm over it. You know, I moved on. But I know what he brings to the table. To lose him is hurtful. To lose Anna Ramon, a guy who's only scratched the surface of what he can do.
Yeah.
Scratched it. I mean, he's still so young. And, you know, for him to agree to this just shows how young and naive he can be. Mm-hmm. Because it's not really a stipulation he should go for. But he's got so much heart. But it's just, you know, it's always age versus beauty.
Yeah,
you know?
Drew is a cagey veteran. You know, Drew is one of the guys who's done this kind of stuff before. He's been in other companies and wrestled these kinds of matches, and he knows these stipulations and how to work it to his advantage.
Oh, he knows how to manipulate. There's no question about it. And, you know, I mean, luckily, hopefully Dr. Brock is at bay. He's handcuffed to David.
Yeah.
Which just shows you how emotional it's been leading up to Shindig, where David's gotten involved.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I mean, they poured dog food on David, for crying out loud. And, you know, David's going to be handcuffed to Brock to keep him at bay. So hopefully, you know, even though it's not the ideal situation for a loser leaves, but hopefully the best man can win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's with a heavy heart, I look at this card and worry so much about what's going to happen. And it's something I have to be there to see. Thank God I was able to get off work for this, because this is going to be probably the most impactful wrestling show in Georgia this year.
It has a lot of long-term ramifications on it, looking, you know, when you look at this show. And plus we have, this four-way. Mm-hmm. The winner gets to be the final person, Ultimate Battleground, which we're planning on doing in July, is my backup plan for the Ultimate Battleground match to decide a new heavyweight champion, if that's needed, to try to get some credibility back for the title. Mm-hmm. If indeed Corey does leave with the championship, because we're going to have to come up, you know, as much as it'll kill credibility in the company, we got to try to establish that credibility. So that match in itself will have long-term ramifications, because there's a good bet that the winner of that match will have the best opportunity to win at Ultimate Battleground. And with the loser being number one, that puts them in the same position. And plus, look at the talent in it. Alan Angels, Will Caution, Damian Bennett, AC Mack. I mean,
Everyone
AC and Alan are killing it.
Yeah. Damian
has been, you know, looking for an opportunity. Unfortunately, the Hero got hurt, so he's back to singles competition. And Will Caution has just been one of the brightest prospects for the last year.
Yeah,
that nobody saw coming and is now here.
They've all had championships, or they've got into places and won big matches and put themselves in the spot as players. You know, they're a big deal. Every one of those guys, they're a main eventer on a lot of shows in the state.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these matches, the majority of these matches can be main events.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, we try to, you know, and that's one thing when, like I said, got off my ass and try to get back to work, is try to make Shindig the best show possible. Tag team titles, Marcus and Griff against Tetchy and Brian. You know, Tetchy and Brian have yet to pin them. They're tag team champions, but they have not pinned Marcus and Griff. They won that on a towel being thrown in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and kind of a fluke thing. And it's really going to be put up or shut up with Tetchy and Brian with Dr. Brock against Marcus and Griff.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Marcus showed so much heart last show, lasting that 5 minutes with Tetchy.
Yeah.
Because Tetchy is a monster. I've been in there with him, and it is scary.
Marcus always surprises me. he is somebody that I'm like, yeah, he's small. He doesn't look like a wrestler, but every time I see him, he just goes out there and blows it away. And he's
the smallest badass you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's got so much intestinal dude.
All his martial arts stuff you hear about is legit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's standing next to Griff, it looks like the second coming of Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah.
And, but Marcus is the undercover tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see him coming, but then when he hits you, you know he's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're awake.
Yeah. And you got a women's match, man. It's so good to see women's wrestling make its return to Southern Fried. And two of Georgia's biggest names.
The fans have asked for it, and we'll give it to them. Crystal Rose, known her for nearly 20 years, and there's not too many people you see that put in the work ethic to become better now than they were when they were 10 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Crystal Rose. Brooklyn, coming back from having a baby, it's only had maybe 1 or 2 matches so far, so it's a big test for her because Crystal's sharp. Crystal's been fighting men,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Brooklyn's only had, like I said, just a couple matches back since having a baby, so it's gonna be something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. And you've got GB1C coming back. They're back together. What's it? Tyler Rivera had an arm injury.
Yeah, broken collarbone.
Oh, God, that's tough.
And so he's clear to go. I told him I'd give him their first match back. If he can get cleared by Shindig, they can come back together at Shindig, put out a challenge. Mm-hmm. And Johnny Nix and David Ali accepted, one of the two of the most underrated talents around.
Yeah.
So that should be, and that, could be a show stealer too, because all 4 of those guys are starving. They're not just hungry, they're starving.
Yeah.
They want to get out there and get it and show what they can do. And I'm going to give them the platform to do that.
Awesome. Todd, I really appreciate you coming on tonight, man. And I just hope for the best. I'll see you in the first. What did Hulk Hogan say? Say your prayers and eat your vitamins,
I'm training too. I'm training. I don't know about vitamins. Beer's a lot involved in coaching.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So, but I'm focused, and it's going to be something. That's the most I can say. It's going to be something.
Well, I really am excited, but I'm also worried, and I think this is y'all have touched a nerve in the wrestling community, and this is going to be a show that everybody's going to have to come out to see. Thanks, Todd.
That's the plan, man.
Get some rest, and best wishes to you, man. You have a great night, okay?
Thank you, bud. I appreciate it.
Hey, folks, it's Myron from the Tap Out Wrestling Podcast. I am joined today in a kind of a celebration of the Georgia Wrestling History Manager of the Year, Dr. Joseph Brock III.
That me?
Hello, Doctor.
Am I it? Are you referring to me?
Yes,
Moi?
sir.
Dr. Joseph Brock III?
The greatest manager in Georgia.
Yeah.
Quite possibly the world.
Let me say this. Though you're correct, I am who I am because of who I represent.
Oh, yes, sir.
JB Enterprises is hands down the greatest group of individuals and, a team that Georgia has ever seen. Probably the Southeast, the world, definitely, maybe. Who knows? I think we're the best in the universe.
It could be, NWO, Dangerous Alliance. There's a lot of great names, and you get JB Enterprises, and y'all are right up there at the top of the list.
Yes, we are. Because I have the greatest guys. Look, I have men like Drew Blood and Brian Kane. I have monsters like Tetsu Makuji. And, you never know who I might have in my crew. But we are doing some great things. We've had a great year, but I'm a little concerned about something coming up.
Yeah.
Only a little bit. Shindig 6 is a big, huge deal.
Yes.
And there's some things that are happening at that event on June 1st in Monroe, Georgia. As everybody likes to say, at 405 Community Court, Boys and Girls Club, Monroe, Georgia. Shindig 6 it's going to be an amazing event.
Well, you get
a life-altering event.
You get an early start for the Hall of Fame ceremony. Probably the most important Hall of Fame outside the NWA, in my opinion.
I'd agree.
Quite a few people going in. I really applaud you for your amount of courage that you've shown by volunteering to be handcuffed to David to keep him from interfering in any of those matches.
You know,
that's a tough one.
I'm not really all that excited about that. We've seen in the news there are some really dirty, dirty cops. And there's none dirtier than that Mr. David Slanders. Officer Slanders. Yes, by the way, everybody thinks, all these moronic fans in Monroe at Southern Fried think that I'm some dastardly dude, that I am a terrible, terrible individual. I'm no Snidely Whiplash. I'm a hero. I'm an intellectually enhanced man of the people. I'm just trying to convey my brilliance to those boneheads who need a little bit of brains.
Quite possibly the finest example of a model citizen you could ever meet.
I know. I agree. And the fans think that I'm bad. Let's just think. Let's look back at a few things that have happened recently over the last few months. I have been accosted by a bunch of miscreant, juvenile delinquent children at the bequest of Bill Behrens and his little crisscross applesauce, Mr. Marcus Cross, Mr. Sensei, 3,000 degree black belt in Taekwondo, who cares? By Griff, my hair is really curly Garrison. I was attacked by a bunch of little children.
Yes.
And how the fans react? They were, oh, this is wonderful. Bill Behrens, Mr. Busybody Bill Behrens, he himself accosted me. He punched me. He clotheslined me. He leg dropped me. I didn't do anything. I was out there. Every time I was out there, I was just sharing my thoughts, encouraging my clients, and I'm attacked. And the fans cheer to go Bill, go, get that nerd, get that nerd. Then in a no disqualification, I quit match, everybody in the building attacks, intervenes in the match. David Slanders allows it because it's legal. The one moment I get into the ring, what happens? Slanders punches me in the face. And what do the fans do? They cheer. But yet one time, my hand slips and Sauronaro falls off the ropes. Slanders comes to the ring, makes a big to-do, threatens me, claims that I'm always interfering in matches. I'm always sticking my nose in other people's beeswax, when it's quite the opposite, in fact. And then I am booed. I am jeered. And now I'm going to be handcuffed to David Slanders. But that's okay, because he thinks he's going to stop what's going to happen in the match. I won't let him, because we're going to be handcuffed.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you can stop him, and I'm really glad that there won't be interference in the match. But I'm so worried about that match. And Drew tried to calm me down when I spoke to him last night.
I'm worried about the match. I'm concerned. Xander Ramon, I don't like him, but he's one of those young, strong, young lions. He thinks he's the king of the jungle. He's moving on up in the wrestling world. He likes to go, ruff, ruff, ruff. He's a little unhinged. Now, Drew is a consummate professional. He's a wrestling machine, in fact. He's an entertainer of entertainers. He is what the people want. He is what the people need. He is what the people, quite frankly, deserve. I'm worried, though. Because I think Slanders has something up his sleeve.
I'm so afraid what will happen to Southern Fried if Todd is no longer the booker, if he loses his match, and then Drew.
Well, that's a good thing.
The greatest talent Southern Fried has, would leave the promotion.
And Drew's not concerned. He's going around going, arf, 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 arf. And he promised me. He called me on the telephone and he said, I've got this. Don't worry. Be happy. No worries for the rest of our lives because he's going to destroy Xander. I believe he will. I believe he's a far better man. I believe he knows what he's doing. But I'm just worried that David Slanders and Xander Ramon have something planned. After all, they're banning Tetsu Mikuchi and Brian Kane from the ring also. Why would they do that unless they plan on doing some chicanery, some shenanigans? And they know that if my men are out there and if I wasn't handcuffed, I wouldn't stand for it. It would be a one-on-one matchup with no funny business. Mano y mano. The best versus Xander. But they're not doing that, so I'm a little concerned. But I'm concerned a little bit. But Drew's going to win. He's my best bud. We've been down the road for 15 years together. And he's never let me down.
Doctor. I worry. I count Drew as one of my close personal friends, somebody I turn to whenever I have a problem or I need advice about stuff.
And you should, because he has conventional wisdom.
Yes.
He has the conventional wisdom to tell you what to do. Mm. I need my best bud. He's going to win. You promise. I promise. We're going to send some positive thoughts to him. Our intellectually enhanced selves will think of a way to encourage Drew, even from where we're at. Mm. But at least, Tetsu Mikuchi and Brian Kane will not only retain their Southern Fried Tag Team Championships, they're going to destroy Master and Machine and get rid of them once and for all.
But have they banned Bill Barron from ringside? Is he does not count for the
Of course not. But if Busybody Billy Boy Barron shows up, I'm in a foul mood. I'll handle him. In fact, I've got something for him I want him to see. Recognize this? If he puts his nose in my beeswax, I'm going to squish him. Tetsu is going to break Marcus Cross's back. He's going to go snap, crackle, pop, and go away. Turn another day. It's going to be what Marcus wanted. And Brian Kane is going to show Griff Garrison what it means to be a real wrestler. Because after all, my Boston Bruiser, the upgrade Brian Kane, is the eternal PCW champion. He is one half of the Southern Fried Tag Team Champions. He is everything Griff Garrison is not. A winner.
Brian, 2 belts.
Brian, well, he's the only one that has 2 belts I know of any importance now. Oh.
Well, Doctor, we're having tremendous video difficulties. Have y'all improved the shielding there at your headquarters? Or is there...
We've tried. We get attacked by hackers constantly, but we're making good strides. I spare no expense. I have lots of the money, and I call my IT guys the best in the world to come. Zuckerberg has promised me that he's got it. He'll help me. Bill Gates said he's going to create a new Microsoft program to create a better firewall. It's going to be okay. We're going to make sure no one gets in and interferes. And if need be, I'll send my personal contact information with them to you to help you to it tapped out.
Well, thank you. You've always been such a great asset for us. And I'm sure there are people that wanted to get into JB Enterprises systems and steal your strategies and your plans and all of the stuff y'all have going on. So I understand.
Keep most of it up here. Much of it's right here.
Well, that's unhackable. That's absolutely unhackable.
No one can crack this medulla oblongata brain. This mind of major mental capability. It's a great. See, it's capability. Capable, inability, capability. Get it?
Hey, that's a good one. I'll have to remember that. I will have to remember that when I'm trying to spread the word. It's going to be a crazy night. It's probably the biggest night in Georgia wrestling every year.
Yeah, I've been told we're looking at a huge crowd, possibly the largest Southern Fried crowd that there's ever been. Maybe over 700, 800 people in the Boys and Girls Club. They sold out the first 2 rows, and the first 2 rows are over 210 seats. They sold out in 11 minutes 3 weeks ago.
And that's not even the crowd that buys in advance. The walk-up Southern Fried.
There are people from all over the Southeast that have contacted Mr. Slanders that want to come. Now, they always tell them, we're not coming for you, Slanders. We're coming for JBE because we're the best.
Yes.
They want to see what Drew's going to do to Xander. He's got this. They want to see what Brian Kane and Tetsu Mikuchi are going to do to Master Machine. Hey, there are people who want to see Adrian Hawkins once and for all rid Southern Fried for Toddy Boy Todd Sexton and keep Kelly away from Todd. Todd has been having a rough time, by the way. He's not getting fish sticks or french fries or any TV dinners. Kelly couldn't cook. So now he's having to live off of like ramen noodles.
I heard a lot of jelly sandwiches were being made there.
Yes, a lot of jelly. No, not even peanut butter, just jelly sandwiches.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to, by the way, a lot of people don't like Corey Hollis. And I'm not saying that he and I are best friends, but I don't blame him for wanting to take the Southern Fried title away from the Southern Fried morons. David Slanders and Toddy Boy have not earned his respect. So when he beats Jacob Ashworth and there is no Southern Fried heavyweight champion, just remember, Southern Fried will still have JBE as their champions, trying to help the morons going from being morons to mental giants, boneheads to brainiacs.
Wow,
idiots to intellectually enhanced.
I asked one thing, if y'all can have one of the 8x10s autographed for me so I can stop by and buy one at the booth.
Buy? Don't worry about buy. I'll give one you.
Thank you.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Because you've earned it.
Thank you. Now,
you were fair and balanced.
I'm probably the most ethical wrestling journalist in Georgia.
Of course. You're better than Nick, by the way.
Thank you.
Don't tell him, but you're better than Nick.
Well, he tries to err on the side of the people and the fans.
He's wishy-washy, is what he is.
Now, I heard that they're going to be putting tickets available for sale at your friends at Monroe Small Engine Repair.
Yes, they are. They are. Go by Small Engine Repair in Monroe. They have tickets that you can purchase there. You don't have to wait in line. You can go directly through that line. At least I've been told. Not have to worry about paying or anything like that. You just show them your golden ticket, and you can come on in.
Amen.
Get there early, by the way.
Yes.
Not only are they having the Southern Fried Hall of Fame ceremony, but there's a meet and greet. I'm going to be there to meet and greet those who want to experience an intellectually enhanced moment in their lives.
That is a value. The doors are at 6. The meet and greet is around, the doors are at 5. Wow.
Yes, early.
Oh, so.
Come early.
Come early,
Stay
folks.
late.
Enjoy the concessions. Enjoy the wonderful wrestling. See the Hall of Fame. Meet Dr. Brock in person. And then stay for the best wrestling in the state of Georgia.
Bar none.
Bar none. We appreciate you, Dr. Brock, for coming on. Thank you for always being such a great influence in my life.
No problem.
And I cannot wait for Shindig. Well, have a great night. Thank you.
Me neither. In fact, I've got to call my best bud, Drew. I've got to make sure everything is good to go, then Tetchy and Brian Kane, we've got to continue to talk strategy. And who knows, there may be a couple of other phone calls I need to make, because we at JBE are always looking to expand. Because I am Dr. Brock, and those morons are not. I'll say good day to them, but to you I'll say, great seeing ya. Talk to you later.
Right.